Some weeks, the big news is just plain grim. But at Defunct Games, we like to begin our shows by offering you just a little bit of sunshine at least. So, to kick us off, here is a robot that we learnt this week can arrange 100,000 dominoes into a Super Mario Bros. Mural. I know, right? Super cute, and 100% Milky Bar wholesome. Aww. Okay, well, I hope that's affirmed your faith in the good of humanity for now, because it's all downhill from here. I'm Lorne, and here are 10 things we learnt this week. This week we learnt that horses, while majestic and almost regal in their splendour, can on occasion be the harbingers of destruction and chaos and endless torment. Because this week it was discovered that Red Dead Online's latest update, titled Blood Money, has a glitch, likely linked to the in-game stables patch. Rogue, player-owned horses doing whatever the hell they damn well please, from endlessly running around heralding a horrendous hootenanny of a horse headache for players on their way to missions, stopping dead in their tracks hurling players off head first, or just showing up dead in random parts of the game's world, which is just plain creepy. While we hope this is patched out soon, it does serve me right, because here was me thinking that it would be dolphins that led to humanity's demise. But no, it was Mr. Ed I should have been minding all along. This week we learnt that there is no change too small, or indeed no intention too pure that won't provoke the kind of overreaction from gamers that is normally reserved for Nazi war criminals, or more recently, Blizzard executives. Because this week, Superhot Team, the devs behind the quirky and inventive Superhot and Superhot VR, decided to patch out instances of player self-harm. Now, while some may believe that the devs bowed to pressure to remove these from the game, in fact, it was their desire to remove them from the game, to improve it in terms of not only its sensibility, but also to avoid players dying accidentally due to what was considered to be a fault with the game. Their reward for their endeavours? Why, being review bombed, of course, because how dare a developer amend their own game in line with their own world views and sense of morality, the swines! Do they not check with each and every member of their player base before exercising their artistic license and God-given right to freedom of expression? Who am I? I'm a moron. This week I learnt that many times in life, the voice you hear really doesn't match the face you imagine. Damn it, one day I will prove that Cyril is in fact Tupac Shakur killing time between albums. Anyway, I bring this up because the character of Max Payne turned 20 this week, and to celebrate, voice actor James McCaffrey and the face model of the bullet time tycoon Sam Lake released a commemorative video to say thank you to all of the fans of the eponymous hero after 2 decades of needlessly jumping through the air, firing guns at baddies for no other reason than, well, it's still ridiculously cool. Sam Lake even rocked the iconic shirt and jacket for old time's sake. I will say one thing, as much as Sam Lake sounds nothing like how I thought he would given James McCaffrey's grizzled performance, it's not as big a surprise as when I watched the 2008 Max Payne movie, expecting something, worth watching, and instead I saw 90 minutes of Mark Wahlberg doing everything he could to make me want to jump slow motion through the air into the nearest wood chipper. If you have more money than sense, you may be interested to know that I and Cyril have very expensive tastes, and are more than happy to let you fund them. That's some good Fabergé scrambled eggs, Chef Bezos. But assuming you want to spend your hard-earned cash on a gaming-related item that could remortgage your house, well, good news! Because this week we learnt that a rare near-mint sealed copy of Super Mario 64 is up for auction. One of only 5 known to exist, in fact, and is set at a minimum of $100,000 asking price, going up in $5,000 increments. Cracking value for money, I'm sure you'll agree. Valerie McCleggy of Heritage Auctions said, "This is Mario's debut appearance in a 3D world, and it was the most popular, best-selling video game for the N64. Considering this, and the fact that there are fewer than 5 sealed in this grade, according to Wata, this copy is a true prize for any serious collector. So if you want to never financially recover from something, you now know what you've got to grate your cheddar on. Or just play the game on an emulator for free. Do whatever you want, I'm not your Mario mama." This week we learned that EA are officially running out of wiggle room for Hyperbole, as the Madden 22 player ratings have dropped, and they already have a 99 rated player in Devontae Adams. Yes, that's out of 100. Players of other EA titles like FIFA for instance will be stunned because they, like me, must be asking themselves, how will EA shift their player packs now? What will become of their Team of the Year, Team of the Month, Team of the Week, Team of the Tournament, Inform, Legendary, Gold, Silver, Bronze, and of course Premium packs? And Lord forbid, how will they peddle their precious FUT points now? My God, please, won't someone think of the children's parents' money? You see, EA has you covered, because you see, for the first time ever, the player ratings can go down as well as up. And of course, EA will no doubt use this as a way of enticing gamers in by offering high-value players to replace the same player rated at a lower level. Because why offer value for money when your entirely digital product sheds its value every 10 months as it is, when you could offer nothing at all, save for the fleeting rush of gambling, which their loot box mechanics are most certainly not, Your Honor. This week we learned, there is still good in you. I felt it. I even have quantifiable evidence. Yay! Because BioWare released stats concerning player choices made during their playthroughs of the Mass Effect Legendary Collection, and they indicate that there are far more people on Santa's nice list than the ones getting a lump of coal, or worse, a Twilight DVD for Christmas. For instance, 94% of players ensured the lovable scamp Rex survived you shooting him in the face on Vermeer. 96% of players cured the genophage, meaning Rex gets to be a baby daddy to a bunch of Rexlets. And 96% of players pardon everyone's favourite masked maiden Tally. Not content with having great morals, it seems as though players have good taste too, as the most popular squad mate in the first Mass Effect was the gun-tastic Garrus. Although I am very disappointed to hear that the most likely person to die on the suicide mission in Mass Effect 2 was my favourite Mass Effect 2 squad mate Mordin. So please people, from his #1 fan to you, take better care of the very model of a singing scientist Solarian, please. This week we learned that Norman Reedus posted a brief video to Instagram that shows him walking alongside Robbie the Rabbit from Silent Hill 3, with tons of quick cuts and psychedelic colours. Nothing irregular about that, and for once I mean that in all sincerity, because while many have jumped to conclude that this is a nod to a resurrection of the infamous PT version of Silent Hills that was due to star Reedus before Konami went cuckoo and fired Kojima, and is therefore an excuse to go into a full-blown state of hype in anticipation that Kojima's next project will be a PT variant, frankly, Reedus posts a ton of videos that could be generously described as mildly eccentric, in the same way that Activision Blizzard had, quote, a rocky week. So this is not likely to be a hint of any pending collaboration with Kojima. But look, not to be the guy that pours cold water on speculation without having a little something to make it up to you, here are some thirsty pictures of Norman Reedus. No. You're welcome. This week we learnt that while a broken clock is right twice a day, even CDPR, as hilariously bad at making steampunk games as they are, raise their game, put on their big boy pants, and prove to the world that they are a competent game-making company. Well, at least once every 5 years. Because this week, to their credit, they added a patch that actually just works. No raining fire, backwards flying Macho Man dragons, no polygon people, or well, anything wrong at all. A mod called Pocket Radio Cyberpunk gives players the ability to play in-game radio stations while outside of their car and walking around Night City by giving them an invisible pocket radio. And if you thought that was rad, you can even raise and lower the volume if you want to get real crazy. I know, a veritable wonderland of technological advancements, game development, and years of craft has led to us being able to have what amounts to a Generation 1 iPod. Something the original Xbox had a basic feature in every game you played. But hey, all jokes aside, CDPR did a good, and that's to be commended. Maybe now they can change the P in CDPR to progress. Although it would mean that they would have to keep the C standing for calamity. Do you wanna be the very best, like no one ever was? Well, too bad, because you're probably more likely to be banned for no reason. I hope you like that, because that's about as positive as this story gets, because this week we learnt that Pokemon Go developer Niantic unleashed a ton of cheating punishments, including account strikes and outright bans to try and deter a wave of recent cheating players. However, in a cock-up worthy of a Team Rocket monologue, in their quick attack of haste, they later discovered these bans were also handed to a bunch of players who were as innocent as a baby Pichu. So let's just say, like a Magikarp taking on Mewtwo with its splash attack, it wasn't exactly super effective, and while they're working hard to remedy this mistake, much like that time you accidentally used the Master Ball on a Rattata, this will likely leave a bad taste in the mouth of Pokemon Go players worse than getting a Dutch oven from a Grimer. Good luck shaking that mental image from your head this week. And finally this week, and bear with me on this story because I've put off talking about it for as long as possible and it gets dark. We learned of widespread allegations of sexual harassment and discrimination at Activision Blizzard due to a legal complaint from the state of California that details a decade-long history of abuse from all levels of management all the way to senior level. Many top male developers there, both current and former, have responded with shock and dismay, many even claiming they weren't aware of any problematic frat boy culture. Cut to this rather heartwarming image of the supposed Crosby suite from BlizzCon 2013, including many former and indeed current Blizzard developers. You know, the people who denied the existence of any problematic culture from earlier. But Lorne, I hear you cry, that's not proof of systematic abuse, and it's maybe just a joke in bad taste. One source even told Kotaku that when the suite began its connotation, it was in relation to Crosby's ugly sweaters, and not the rape allegations against him in 2013. Well, not content to leave mere pictorial evidence open for interpretation, cut to this rather charming Facebook exchange from the supposed Crosby crew discussing totally not incriminating topics such as gathering chicks for the cause, and quote, one of them marrying all the women they would bring because he was Middle Eastern. And in another twist, which I'm sure had no bearing on this behaviour going unreported for so long, a member of HR was also reportedly a part of the images shown. Pretty hard to report systemic and sustained abuse to the same people who are causing abuse in the first place. Well, while the lawsuit is still pending and this news seems to be only the latest in a string of abusive game companies such as Ubisoft, Riot Games and EA to be sued for abuse in the workplace, we can at least take solace in the fact that this is now being reported and escalated to ensure some form of justice is served. And now, we're through that crap sandwich and a dollop of crap-coated ice cream of a news story. Let's end on the image of Norman Reedus doing something thirsty again, shall we? Ah, that's better. Well, on that note, it's time to end, because that, gamers and gamettes, was 10 things we learnt this week.
Hey! Thanks for watching this edition of 10 Things We Learnt This Week. If you like what you saw here, then you should know that we post new editions of this show every Sunday. Now here's the question I have for you. What did you learn this week? I know we ask it every single week, but like every single week, we always learn something new about ourselves and the wider world in gaming. So let us know what you learnt. Also, you should know that we've got upcoming reviews of the Falconeer and Skydrift Infinity to look forward to. So if you like the sound of that, then you should consider hitting that subscribe button to support what we're doing here. Until then,